Hello and welcome everybody. Today is May 23rd, which is a Tuesday. It's 5:30 Mountain Time, but we're not in Mountain Time. We're actually in Washington, D.C., and we're working with a couple different organizations out here. Tonight, we're actually helping to launch the D.C. Embassy for Liberland, which is actually a free republic based in the middle of Croatia and Serbia. It's an island that's basically been taken over from a standpoint of accountability. So nobody actually recognized it. Nobody took care of it. And these guys stood up about 6 years ago and have basically been tying it to the digital world. They have about 1,000 citizens. And you can kind of see the process to get citizenship here. So we're right in the middle of the city, so you're going to hear some noise. But basically, we're working on a connection between Liberland and the digital world. And then tomorrow we will go through, I'm going to pull up the GBA event. I won't be able to go through a lot of the typical, oops. It's not going to be in this particular window. Let me find it with a different one real fast. Before I do that, let me go through a real quick intro. So this agenda will be cut in half at least, but we're grateful for those that are on. Terrence, it was good to see you. Wally, it's good to see you, even though I saw you just yesterday. This is a private membership association for the digital world, as well as other ecosystems within the Clear companies. Some of the stuff we'll talk about is forward-looking. All that stuff's out of the way. But I really wanted to bring you up to speed on what is happening tonight. So Liberland has actually worked with multiple other countries, Brazil, Dominican Republic, 2 or 3 over in the Middle East that are not announced yet, El Salvador, and Mexico. These are actually, they've opened up embassies in all these different countries, and they're primarily 100% digital. So this ecosystem is digital. For those of you that have been kind of watching the travels over the last 4 or 5 months, you've seen me basically go through the world. And, so imagine a passport that has the ability to actually cryptographically prove who you are. This is one country. This is another country. This is another country. This is another country. All of those within the last 5 months, but they're actually not in the centralized database for passport recognition. So the point is there's 4 different things that a country's needed to be recognized as a country. They're working on the 4th country. Or they're working on the 4th item, which is basically a populace. And that's where the digital world comes in. So the digital world can actually enable them to verify who their citizens are, where they go, what they do. Maybe if they've got a driver's license, if they've got a passport, if they've got marriage, or if they've got land, or if they've started a business, or if they've got assets, or you already understand some of the pieces behind that. But basically tying Liberland and the digital world together. That's what's happening today. That's the event that we're currently at. But there's a bigger picture to all of this with the Blockchain Global Association. Let me see if I can pull it up on a different window. The blue judge says it's up to air carriers to be more realistic about scheduling. Airlines are responsible for delivering high-standard service. We know that passengers can fix I hope you're able to hear me okay. Okay, let's see if we've got this. I know there's a lot of noise. Okay, here we go. So this association has 2 days worth of meetings, and it's primarily the future of money, governance, and the law. So this is actually the event. Let's see if you can kind of see the different participants that are within it. So it starts in about 15 hours from now, and it just so happens myself and one other individual are kicking it off and primarily talking about decentralized governments within decentralized systems. So it's literally talking about what the digital world is all about. These are the types of organizations that'll be here from an international governing body. We got the European Union Commission. I don't know if you saw, but this same type of European Commission is the ones that are behind GDRP that actually just went after Facebook for $2.4 billion, which is also on the heels of the $1.5 billion and on the heels of $500 million that they started with probably about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. So you also see you see this organization really kind of walk the fine line between centralized government and decentralized systems. And so what we're trying to do is tie a relationship between these ecosystems that actually respect one another, they work with one another, there's positive energy, and we're actually looking for aligning, because in all reality, people really feel the same way. Majority of population feel the same way around how technology can be an enabler, but it doesn't have to enslave future generations. And I think it's simple to be able to agree. The problem is people can't see it. So we're trying to educate folks on being able to see how future systems, if they're centralized and they don't provide true decentralization, not centralizing decentralization, but true decentralization, how that can actually enable. So we've got the European Union, the United Nations, there's some key individuals. I can tell you these people, they do care, even though they may be associated with organizations that the perception may be that they don't care. And so we've got to literally align people, align systems, and from a national body, you can kind of see this from Austria, Belgium, Estonia, Danish, El Salvador, Israel, Bahrain, Korea, Nigeria, which is one of the 3 identity systems that have been stood up in the world so far, along with India and another. Swiss governments, the US, and lots of departments. It's here in DC, so there's going to be a ton of just different US departments. Then you got state and local governments from different states within the country. Utah actually has representation here as well. Wonderful people, if you haven't met them already. And then a lot of academia, a lot of private sector. So literally just pulling these ecosystems together, trying to help educate around really what centralization and decentralization is and how systems can actually be realized for the benefit of humanity. And that's something that actually has to bind future generations. So hopefully it goes well. Wish us luck at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Eastern time. Say some prayers. We'll be kicking this event off. Yeah, let's see if I've got an agenda. I do in a different tab. But anyways, so this event 15 hours from now. But right now we're primarily talking about Liberland and the potential of being able to be a true digital nation, literally a true digital nation that actually has global recognition. But there's a couple things they've got to prove before they can do that. So how can we tie them into the other countries that the digital world has actually been working with? So I'll give you an example. These countries here. So how can these countries actually all sign up? Go ahead.
Are we supposed to see your screen?
Let's see what room you're in. I can share it within this room. If you see it online, you'll be able to see it, but let me go ahead and share it within that room.
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay. I apologize. I didn't fire up all of the different windows. I'll go ahead and do that now. If you watch it on the replays, you'll see that streaming. And this will be streaming on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as Clear One. So, but I've blabbed a lot. I've talked about Liberland. I've talked about the GBA. I've talked about this event. Do you have any questions, thoughts, comments, feedback, prayers, anything? It's good to see some of you on. I'll go ahead and allow just for another couple minutes for Q&A.
Hey, Michael, it's Beck. How are you?
Good, Beck. It's good to see you and hear from you.
Yeah, hello. I've just recently had a question about smart contracts in terms of DAOs. And they said to me, how do we read the smart contracts from DAOs? And I didn't know how to answer that question.
So let's repeat the question. How do you read the smart contracts from DAOs? Is that the question?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a couple different pieces that you need to look at. One is at the actual transaction layer. And really what it is how can people actually create a business and have it cryptographically proven? You can see that within. So I'm going to pull up. If you come into here, you can actually come in and see. Let's just grab like this one here. You can see that they've actually got a cryptographic. That key will actually tie to a transaction within the chain. A good way to be able to see a chain is if you're operating within one of these assets. I don't think this one has. No, they do. So if you actually have an asset that transfers, you can click on it in any of the pay wallets. So whether that's Tuvalu wallet, Fiji wallet, Clear wallet, Digital wallet, all of those wallets will have a transaction. If you continue to click down into it, you'll see the raw decentralized ledger or ledgerless system that basically shows it. And so what it'll show is this cryptographic key for creating the business. So for instance, if I logged in, which if you want, I'll do this real fast for those that haven't seen this before. So I'm basically, and I'm all running off of this just one phone right now, but I'm going to light up, oops, wrong one. I'm going to light up Clear Live. I'm going to ask for this QR code. So it's going to generate the QR code. Try, my voice is kind of weak, but hopefully it will wake up in the morning and it's solid again. Been quite the travel the last week and lots of events, but